Warning. This program contains very strong language from the outset. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Hard Lines, the podcast where we talk about Roast Battle UK, telling you how to write and perform the best insult comedy in the world. My name is Drew Stearne and I'm joined as always by Miss Shalaka Kurup.
Hello Drew, how are you?
I'm very well. I'm excited to be back recording. You've been away for a month.
Yeah, a long time. I've been in India.
Yep. We were able to keep the podcast upcoming once a week because we record these in batches like professionals, as you can tell by our only infrequently changing wardrobes. But it was a nice relaxing trip. Being back home?
It was good being back home, but not a lot of opportunity for comedy there. So
well, fair enough.
Excited to be back.
You're back and you are battling this Friday.
As are you.
I am, yeah. We're both on the bill this Friday. It will have already happened by the time that you watch this podcast, but remember that if you do want to come along to the live show, roastbattle.co.uk/tickets to make sure you don't miss the next one. But for those people coming on Friday, who can they look forward to you battling?
I'm battling David Hunter.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I just have 5 jokes about how he is gay.
Yep.
It's less of a battle, more of a hate crime.
Well, in that theme, I'm battling Patrick Brusnahan, and so far I've got 5 fat jokes.
Great. We're both doing wonderful. Just stigma all the way through.
Yeah, I love that we're here doing a podcast talking about the nuances and balance of creating a great roast battle, and it's just 5 gay jokes and 5 fat jokes, and that's really all it boils down to.
Sometimes we get tired. We get tired of creating nuance and thinking.
Yeah, sometimes you have to let the other person do the nuance.
Exactly.
But I'm looking forward to it. Patrick has only recently started battling again, having done it in the past, and he battled. His first battle back was against Joshua Bethania, who we've talked about all the way back in the first episode of this podcast.
Yeah,
they had a great battle, and we are going to tackle.
Sad I missed it.
Yeah, it was a really great battle. It was great to see them both up there, and that's the only real kind of research I can do in terms of what his style is.
Yeah, it's you can tell a lot from his judging.
Yeah.
His judging and his battle personality is very much the same.
That's the thing. He has been a very frequent judge.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew him. In fact, before I knew him as a person, I found him very intimidating because that kind of presence he has when he's judging is kind of, it's funny, but it's also kind of scary and intimidating.
Yeah.
He has this persona going on, which is nothing really like what he's like when you talk to him in person.
I mean, he did go through a phase of talking about his XL bully quite a bit.
Yeah. His XL bully wanting to get his kids back. Like, there's always this tragic understory in all of his judging notes. But I'm very much looking forward to battling him. And as I said, the battle with him and Joshua we'll be looking at very, very soon on the podcast, maybe even the episode after this one. But I most recently battled Aziz Vora, which is going to be the battle we look at today. And I don't know if you recall, but when we had Mark Cram in as an interviewer, one of the things we talked about was what facts of mine come up the most. Yeah. And you said, was it porn? And it's not. It was the Rubik's Cube. Yeah. And that finally came back to bite me properly.
No spoilers. I actually haven't seen this battle because I wasn't there on the night and I haven't watched the video.
It finally comes back to bite me in this one. For those people who don't know Aziz Vora, how would you describe him and his kind of presence?
If Dave Patel talked about Matcha all the time.
Okay, yeah, that's a way of doing it. He's half Indian.
He's half Indian. He's very tall, lovely guy, a family man now.
Yeah.
But cannot shake off that shitty hipster vibe. He looks like even when he's not with a tote bag. I don't think he's ever had a tote bag. I just envision him with a tote bag.
Now that you've said that, I can't unsee that in my brain. I battled him once before a few years ago, and he had long hair. Yeah. And I said that he looked like if Jesus was a barista.
Yes, exactly. I mean, now that he's lost the long hair, he looks a lot more adult and like someone's dad. But I think I still remember him fondly with the long hair.
Yeah, and he is, in his professional life, he was partially responsible for setting you up with that 8-year-old at the roast battle for Max Fosh's channel.
I'm glad you said at the roast battle. You could have just finished that sentence.
That's where we're going to clip it. He's responsible for setting you up with an 8-year-old. Come back next time for the pod. Yeah, you know, that 8-year-old you're now married to. Yeah. No, the famous roast battle where Max Fosh challenged you to battle someone unseen, sight unseen, and it turned out to be an 8-year-old. That was Aziz's handiwork in the background.
And he's done it again to someone else, so I've been told.
Yes, in New York. He had just done that when I spoke to him. Yeah. That proper video on Max Fosh's channel will be coming pretty soon. If you haven't actually seen Shalaka's battle against the 8-year-old, we'll put a link in the description of where you can find it on YouTube because it's well worth the watch. There's a tiny little micro cameo from me about halfway through because I was on the bill earlier that evening along with friend of the pod, Mr. Luke Hall.
Oh, yes.
Who is very angry we haven't had him on the podcast yet.
Okay, well, we'll have to sort that.
Address.
Yeah.
But that video is well worth watching, and there's another one, the sequel coming out for this New York battle. And that Aziz actually battled while he was out there, and that was the first time he'd battled for a while. So he was coming in saying he was a bit rusty, and I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I'd been on a bit of a losing streak.
Oh, you and me too. Has this podcast cursed us?
A little bit. We haven't improved by doing it.
If anything, I've gotten worse.
That's the thing. More energy is going into, like, maybe that's the thing. Those who can't teach, and by teaching you get worse at what you're doing potentially. Yeah. But well, I won't spoil how this battle turned out. But it was at the Big Belly Room. They filled it up, so the atmosphere was really, really
nice.
good. It was. They're trying something new where they're bringing in 3-round battles for some of the newbies, so it helps people find their feet a little bit more. Yeah. What's your opinions on that and using that as a way? Do you think people should just get plunged into the deep end, or do you think it's a good way of getting them started?
I think if you'd asked me this question in 2024, I would have said, nah, just chuck them in.
Yeah.
And now, since I've seen so many newbie battles, I actually am very pro the whole start with the 3-round battle, see how you go.
Yeah.
Because I've seen other cities do the 3-round battle as well. And it's just, I mean, obviously it's easier if you're new to the format, but the quality just goes up by so much as well, especially if you're new.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
Yeah. Well, it's become a thing. I think it only works when it's 2 new battlers. There was meant to be a battle this Friday between Josh Bethania and George Collado. George Collado is a friend of mine. He's relatively new to stand-up, but very eager to give it a go. And that was going to be a 5-round battle because I think if you're coming to see Joshua Bethania, you want to see a full 5 rounds. So,
yeah, but I mean, it will take 3 hours of your life. But
it is true. They are slow delivery, but that combination, I think a 5 round still works for that. But 2 newbies. It can be as much of a mercy if it's not going as well, and it can be just you get to throw away 2 of your worst jokes.
Yeah,
you can see it that way. We had a couple of those at that particular show. We had the first half was kind of headlined by Esther and Ken.
Which I've heard it's a great battle.
Yes, so Ken Grinell, obviously former UK champion. We've talked about him on here before and alluded to him once or twice. We've been talking about certain things. He's obviously an absolute champ and really good. Esther has transferred from the Barcelona roast
Former
battle
Barcelona champion.
Former Barcelona champ. And she's come over much to the chagrin of a lot of our competing, especially Barcelona, actually, because we're now getting her points in the International League, which we'll go into more detail.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Drama.
We'll go into more detail about what it means to be in the International Roast Battle League, but it is an entire thing that deserves its own attention on the podcast. But we now get her points, and she battles out of London. So even when she battles in New York, we get her points.
Massive win. She's very good.
She's very good, and a crowd pleaser and a favorite. And she has all of those qualities that we've talked about before, where it's not just about how you deliver your jokes, it's how you take them. Yeah. And she's a great performer. And I was meant to battle her last week, and I had to pull out, which I was very, very sad about. But hopefully I'll get a chance to battle her in the future. That was another highlight of it. But Aziz and I were the headline battle of the second half. Okay. And shall we delve in and start?
I can't wait to watch this.
Right. Now, Shalaka has not ever seen this because you weren't around for the recording of it. So you're coming in completely blind. So here we go. Round number 1. Battle, 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 battle. Let's give all hello everyone. Yeah, there's the bell. This is Aziz Vora. Aziz's fantasy is to one day have a threesome, which for him means mansplaining to 2 women at the same time. So this anthropomorphized bottle of Just for Men is Drew Stearne. Drew is 44 years old, but dresses in the clothes of someone that's much younger than him. The poor guy is currently naked in Drew's basement. There you go, round number 1 there. I have my opinions, but they are somewhat biased, so let me know what you think.
What was his... He used that joke format, this blah, blah, blah.
This human incarnation of Just for Men. Are you
What's
familiar
just
with?
For men?
Right, that might be an age thing that Aziz and I do get. Just for Men is a type of shampoo for men who are going grey, and it just helps them keep their earlier natural color in their hair.
Okay.
Bit of a niche reference to an audience which was quite young.
It's a niche reference, and also it's a bold joke to make against someone whose hair, especially in that video, is not grey at all.
No, under studio lighting like that, it does look okay.
Yeah.
I think up close in bright sunlight, you can see a lot
now
more
looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that's a great joke, actually.
I'll see what I can do in post-production on this episode to balance it out. But
his second joke, Aziz is very good at creating images normally, but this one I just didn't get. So is the joke that you stole some guy's clothes?
It's the two sides that I dress younger than I should, and I do that because I've taken the clothes from a man I have in my basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to give that one to you.
Okay, fair enough.
I liked your joke, mansplaining to two women at the same time. That's funny.
That is an adapted joke, so adapted from my own joke, so I'm still claiming ownership over it. But against Joshua Bethania, who I think I battled most recently before this, I'd said that Joshua Bethania, who's Asian, and we've talked about using kind of working in IT as a racial stereotype trope that we frequently do.
Speak for yourself, bitch. I can't pull that off.
No, you can't. But there's some benefits to being a middle-class white guy.
Just a few.
But this one counts. I said about Joshua Bethania that his fantasy was having a threesome, which for him is fixing two people's PCs at the same time.
Yes, did I judge that one?
You may have judged that one, yeah. So
okay,
this was that was the framework that repeated.
Fair enough,
but adapted to this, because I think there's something about his face that looks a bit mansplainy. And as someone who tends to mansplain more than he absolutely should myself, I feel I recognize it, but it felt like an easy target to go in there with.
Yeah, people have. I think I've done a mansplaining joke about Aziz before.
Yeah,
it's just that thing. It's the tote bag energy. When someone has the energy of someone who carries a tote bag, you just kind of assume they're going to mansplain to a woman at some point. Yeah,
what I like about that version as opposed to the version that I did for Josh is that one is lazy racism, whereas this feels a bit more targeted
at his personality.
And it kind of starts to build that idea of who he is. It's also fairly light-handed. It's not as bad. And there's another one coming up later in there, which I think is a very mild joke, but works. I was very happy with that.
I was happy with that too. It was a good joke. Aziz is a bit more confusing because I'm still trying to wrap my head around what he's trying to call you there, whether he's calling you just bad at fashion or a pedophile or a kidnapper. And none of those things really kind of work when it's one man talking to another man.
I think he's thrown a few things in the mix there. And I think that could be a reason why it potentially hasn't worked as well. That it's tried to do too many things at the same time. But it got reaction from the audience. I think that's one of those kind of knee-jerk reactions where they're hearing the parts of it. And it works. And that's the thing. The only real measure of how good a joke is if people laughed at it.
Obviously.
We're breaking it apart from a technical level, and if this was given to us ahead of time, written down, you can critique it one way or another. But the fact is, it got a laugh.
The audience liked it.
And I could be arrogant and say, well, the energy that we were giving off on the stage worked with that, or my first joke worked so well that people were primed to laugh and they felt relaxed. I think what Aziz and I discussed afterwards, and again, this feels very arrogant, but then we're the kind of men who do this, is that the previous two battles weren't the strongest, didn't get the biggest reaction.
Right, so it was a relief.
Especially the one directly before us, it was a three joke battle between two newbies.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Who I think had a lot of nervous energy, and when we came on and we looked relatively confident, and the first jokes had the structure of a joke, that the audience relaxed a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that both of our jokes landed potentially better than they could have done because the audience had relaxed and felt that, okay, this final battle, these guys they're
going to be funny.
Well, they're going to know what they're doing. They're not more nervous than we are watching them. They're not.
Okay.
They have a bit of experience. Also, it helped David setting us up, saying that we'd reached the highest peaks. So the two times I've battled and David's been the host, he said really, really nice stuff about me coming up onto stage, which I've been very flattered by, and it's been it kind of helped my confidence going up on stage. But I think it also helps the audience feel like, oh, they're primed to see
a good battle.
So it's a little bit of a cheat code.
Yeah.
but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to round number 2.
Aziz is mixed race, which has given him the skin color of Huel and the personality of someone who drinks Huel. I'd like to thank Drew for taking time out of staring a bit too long at his son's girlfriend to be here tonight. Drew has 2 kids and he tries really hard to be a cool dad. The last time Andrew tried this hard to be down with the kids, he was stripped of his royal titles.
Lady. There you go.
Huel joke was good.
Yeah.
Aziz's son's girlfriend joke was better for me.
Yeah.
Should have stopped there. But it did well in the room.
Yeah.
And I'm just sick of hearing Prince Andrew jokes.
It's the audience is not as sick as you are because they haven't heard quite as many.
I fully recognize the position I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It was a good joke. And having a topical reference in there at Roast Battle is great.
Yeah, I think that we were talking about with Mark Cram when there was the instance where someone made a joke about him by name and no one reacted because they'd all forgotten his name. He's taking a gamble there that I haven't been introduced as Andrew.
Yeah.
So when he says Andrew, I think the crowd's going, oh, I guess that's his name. I was introduced as Drew. Not everyone gets that Drew is short for Andrew, which it is, by the way. But so the fact that he said that shows that the audience didn't really remember what my name was, so they just assumed that was the correct answer to I'm another Andrew. Again, I think because they're primed, they figure, they have a shortcut to a laugh, which I think works really well.
Yeah.
I was super happy with my joke in that round, but watching it back, he clearly gets a bigger reaction, especially on that first
Taking
bit.
time off from looking at your son's girlfriend is such a good joke.
Yeah, and weirdly, I've had stuff like that a lot, because once you have kids, that feels like an easy way of doing it. My son is 11.
No one knows that, though.
No.
Or somehow was.
Somehow was.
Maybe you shouldn't have put that on the podcast.
No, and I was thinking about bringing it up, like in the moment, because I'm very bad at like in the moment comebacks, and in my head it came up, should I say, but my son is 11? I felt like it was a bit too much of a block, like a no rather than a yes and.
Yeah.
I could have said yes and he's 11 and done it that way, but
would you be able to live with yourself with that yes and?
What benefit would I have had? Yeah. It's
my son's 11, so his girlfriend's also very young. Is that helpful?
Yeah, I don't think it would have benefited. So I think I abandoned that idea pretty quickly.
Yeah,
which I usually do on these those comebacks. I just never feel confident that they're going to work, and when I do them, they're not so great.
Also, I think it takes a certain type of personality of man to be accused of being a creep on stage, and for them to yes and that, and the audience to still laugh. And I think it's a small, there's men who yes and that, and the audience is like, oh, Jesus Christ. And there's men who yes and that, and the audience just like, no, I don't believe that because you look like a nice guy. And I think you're in that camp. Yeah. And there's a small group of men in the middle who yes and that, and the audience is like, I guess he could be creepy.
I just thought of what I could have done as a comeback, because the audience doesn't know how old my son is. I could have said, this is hindsight is 2020, but if that was to come up again, I'd probably say yes because my son's dating your mum.
Yeah.
There you go.
So convoluted. So you're checking out Aziz's mum, who is your son's girlfriend. Okay.
Again,
a choice.
I think obviously the speed of the comeback would have been good, and I've come up with this 2 weeks later, so it's completely useless. But
not in the room, baby.
No, it didn't work. But I think had I come up with that, I think it could have worked. Yeah. Because of the both the speed and it looping it back round to also your mum.
Everyone loves a your mum joke. I've seen your mum jokes, and I've cackled in the room and watched it later, being like, why did I laugh? It's just a your mum joke.
It's kind of a knee-jerk reaction. It's like when they say the title of a movie in a movie.
Yes, exactly that. When they do a your mum joke at Roast Battle.
Yeah, because that's what people assume Roast Battle is going to be, just a string of your mum jokes. And then when there is one, it's like, yay!
It happened!
You said the thing! Like it's Arnold or Schwarzenegger saying, I'll be back. It's the thing you're waiting for to happen. So I think from that perspective, you get, again, that kind of a shortcut to a laugh that it's absolutely fine to take advantage of. Yeah. But I guess from your perspective, this makes it 1-1 going into round 3.
Yeah.
Ladies, you might recognize Aziz from your Instagram comments this week where he says it's 62 million visits, not visitors. as one for the ladies. It's the marathon tomorrow, and I very much think of the marathon in the same way that I think about Aziz. I don't understand why anyone would want to do him, and afterwards I'm pretty sure your nipples will be chapped. As you can see, Drew wears 2 watches. Very, very strange. One is an Apple Watch to help him lose weight, and as you can see, I imagine the other one's to help him put it back on again. It's a yo-yoing affair.
Was that 62 million? No, you sent me that joke.
I did, yes.
Yes, okay. Because I was like,
that sounds
Drew,
familiar.
I've heard that joke before, and then I realized it was literally from you.
Yeah.
I think that didn't get enough in the room.
Okay, well, so full disclosure, although Shalaka wasn't at the show, I did send you that joke ahead of time to run it by you. And this refers to the report that was on CNN about the websites where...
The rape website.
The rape website, where apparently 62 million visits or users were clocked of men posting horrific stuff about abusing their own wives. That was very topical. That was that week that had really broken.
It's weird that it didn't... Do people just not read the news?
I was hoping, because I saw all of... Not so much... I didn't actually see it in the news. I just saw a lot of women's Instagram posts talking about it. And that's how I knew about it. And that's why I wanted to make a reference to it. And I think it did feel like there was a pocket of women who laughed at that joke. Because it was... they knew what I was talking about. I think it was always going to be a bit risky, but it's always fun to try and find the boundary. And I find topical stuff really fun to throw in when you can get away with it.
Yeah.
I don't think it had enough critical mass to get the whole room. And that was also not big enough of a laugh to stop on. So I tagged on the marathon stuff.
Yeah.
That was the day before the marathon.
Yeah.
So I figured that's something topical to lean into.
Look, I'm gonna lie, not a fan of the marathon joke.
Nope.
I think it's because I was like, so is the joke he's bad at sex?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not that he's bad at sex, but looking at him, I don't know why anyone would want to have sex with him. Like a marathon, I don't know why anyone would want to do that, and I don't know why anyone would want to do him.
I think the problem is you've both done the same thing in that round, where what you've done is look at what's objectively a pretty attractive man and be like, I don't know why a woman would want to have sex with him. I mean, he doesn't have the long hair anymore, so... Anyway, and what he's done is the same thing with you, where he's been like, oh, I guess the other watch is for because you're a fat piece of shit and you don't look fat.
Yeah, I think that
so
that's...
I found that a bit like, why? But he's not fat. Like against against Patrick Brusnahan. When you do 5 fat jokes, sorry, Patrick. But
makes more sense.
It makes more sense, but you don't look fat, especially not in that video, especially not... I saw you on that night after Roast Battle because I came there after. You didn't look fat then either.
Yeah.
So it's a weird joke to make.
Yeah. Well, I think that might be the difference between how Aziz and I look at each other.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that when I'm looking at him, I didn't really think about people not buying into that joke because he is attractive. That hadn't occurred to me. It just... him being an unappealing person tagging on to the idea of him like being a mansplainer and that kind of stuff.
I see, yes.
That tied on. But the thing is, if he is attractive to certain people, then that kind of undermines that straight away. Not necessarily that he's a mansplainer, that actually goes hand in hand with being an attractive man. But the wanting to sleep with him, that might not work as well. And that hadn't occurred to me until you just said that then. So that is an interesting way how our own perceptions and our own ways of looking at people, male gaze, female gaze, can influence or blind you to the way certain things can be
in the room. Because I mean, I know a lot of female comedians, naming no names, but when Aziz started battling and they'd come to, when Roast Battle used to be more social, there were a lot of women who were like, oh my God, who's that guy?
Oh.
Sorry, is this just an ego? I hope he doesn't listen. That man is already such a narcissist. I hope he's not listening to this podcast.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, okay, good. Because he's a massive narcissist.
Maybe if he finds out that he's on it, he will. But where are all the people going that about me? There I am, just battling every day. And then
maybe you shouldn't be such a fat chonko then.
Nice.
If we're looking at you through Aziz's eyes.
That's the thing. I sometimes when I have had facts on my sheet about having like a dad bod, and that was up to like about a year ago, where I could really sell it on stage, where I could really like stick out my belly and really sell it. And then I lost a bit of weight, not tremendous amount, but enough that it got harder to do, and I really had to emphasize it in a way that just wasn't funny anymore. So you're right, on that stage it's dark, I'm wearing a dark shirt, it doesn't really land as much.
I mean, compared to Aziz, because he's tall and lanky, for sure.
Yeah, he's one of the only people I can battle who's a good chunk taller than me.
Yeah.
He's like 4 inches taller than me. He's a big guy.
Yeah. But like broadly, I heard that joke and I was like, wait, what? No, you don't really look that fat.
No. I'll take that compliment. So I think both of us are maybe trying to... The fact that I got a laugh at all on that, I think, was just for the punchline nipples.
Yeah.
Again, it's a
Great
funny
word.
word.
Great word.
And I think this is evidence that the audience is really primed to laugh, so that they're waiting for something that they can get behind.
Yeah.
So the barrier's a lot lower, so you can get away with a lot of stuff. And I think that nipple joke, that was the only big laugh I got from that. From that kind of three-parter.
I think for this one, I would give it to you just for the 62 million joke, because I still enjoy it. I still think it's a great joke. I think also being the comedian who latched on, because I mean, men were on social media being like, well, it's actually 62 million. Being the first person to get onto that, I'm like, yes, someone did it. Well done.
Well, that's it. Like a lot of the posts that I saw women making were responding to men saying that thing.
Yeah.
I went, after I've done the mansplaining joke at the start, it seems like a logical next step for this. And we've talked about that consistency of presentation. And this isn't a masterclass in it by any means, but it's an example of like stacking those things on top of each other. So,
and he's wearing glasses as well. So it kind of fits with the whole persona.
Fair enough. I have started wearing glasses on stage, and maybe I'll just avoid that.
No. I mean, the fact that the kind of guy who would be like, it's 62 million visits, is a guy who's wearing glasses who mansplains to women.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So just purely by your judging, that's 2-1 to me. We'll go on to round number 4.
This is Aziz, which is short for as his parents picked out a child bride for him yet. Aziz is a twin, and they both actually have the exact same beard, which looks better on him than it does on his sister. And I did wonder, if you have an abortion of twins, is it twice the cost or 2 for 1? Which is the question his mum wished she'd asked herself. Drew, I love you, man, but you're such a massive old nerd. You look like you've got a podcast about roast battle. Also, Drew has a podcast about roast battle. He co-hosted it with a female comedian because recording a podcast is the only way he's able to turn on a woman.
I think that should have got more.
I think, I think that, again, the maths of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, turn on a woman. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it?
No, you in the sense of a podcast, you'd be playing a podcast to hear a woman, and that would be the turning on.
Yeah, you wouldn't be hosting it.
There's no turning on in recording a podcast.
Yeah.
I think that potentially why that didn't register as much. I think it was relatively weak on both sides.
Yeah, that abortion joke, Drew, that went on for so long. It went on for so long. And in the middle, you roasted his sister for potentially having a beard.
Yeah. I mean,
what happened there?
That is a classic twins joke. Like, how do you tell the difference? This is like, well, one wears the pink lipstick and the other has a penis. Like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
It's an old joke about telling twins apart, that when you say twins, people immediately jump to identical twins. It's a very low-hanging fruit joke.
Yeah.
And it didn't... I could have done without it, but given how little I got for that abortion joke, and it was very wordy, but I intended it to feel a bit more conversational, like I was actually asking the question after establishing that he was a twin.
Yeah, fair enough.
The idea being, it's just a thought that's just occurred to me. And then it's got a punchline on the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, wordy. You'd said for the advice that you gave me on the 62 million, the concern was that it was too wordy as well. And some of my jokes are on the wordy side.
I think for this battle, I think normally they're not. I think this battle, they are a little bit more. I think I laughed at as his parents found him a child bride yet. Yeah. Too wordy, but it's a fun, like when you hear the name Aziz, it's a fun play on the name. Yeah. I've never heard has is as you know?
Yeah, it's a slight stretch on the pronunciation, but I think the audience got there.
Yeah.
I was fairly happy with that because you can only do that to someone called Aziz.
Yeah. I like that. I think I had a mid laugh for that. And speaking of which, Drew has a roast battle podcast, but maybe I'm biased.
Slightly.
I was like, pod mention.
Yeah, that's it. Like we're actually whether or not people are listening to it, they're hearing about it on stage.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
I think I'm going to call that round a draw.
Okay.
Because I can't give it to either one of you.
So that makes it still
2-1.
2-1. In my favor, I think. Well, we're going into round number 5.
Aziz is a fan of Dungeons and Dragons. As a Muslim, it's a privilege to be surrounded by 72 virgins. He had a girlfriend who played D&D with him, but she cheated on him with another player. But don't feel too sorry for him. His wizard is now a level 3 cuck.
Never trust a dark elf, guys. Fuck him. This is a bit behind the scenes here, but like before the show, we're supposed to like give like 10 interesting facts to each other to like help us write jokes. And I want to read out now, if it's okay, one of the facts that Drew sent to me. So remember, this is like interesting facts you were to send to someone from a 44-year-old man. One of his facts was, I can solve a Rubik's Cube in under 1 minute. I'm really sorry, man, but how much of a boring fucking cunt do you need to be that one of the most interesting things about you is that you're autistic? but I don't just think you're autistic, Drew. I also think you're a liar. I'm betting a lot on this right here because this might take the win. But let's go. Yeah, let's do it. Hold it up. We're counting down. No starting.
How long has he got to do it?
A minute. 3, 2, 1, go!
A minute is actually quite a long time.
I know. I was thinking about that. I was like, ugh.
That's what Aziz's girlfriend says.
20 seconds in.
If he manages, you lose, Aziz.
I know. I'm betting everything on this.
I'm gonna vote for you because you're not white.
Halfway.
Oh, shit, he's getting close. He's getting close. Actually, think he's do it. Come on, bitch.
Why is this the most exciting part of the show?
40 seconds down. We've got 10 seconds left, guys.
Come on, mate. You can do it.
You guys are invested in it.
This is the best.
I am still looking
crazy.
for.
That's actually fucking worth it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's both battle, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you gonna finish it at least? Okay.
So I'll stop it there. There's more to come to that in the judging section. But
Absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. Aziz, you know what? Aziz wins a whole battle just for that.
Well, when I had thought that this could happen at some point.
Yeah.
I'd thought that once I started putting the Rubik's Cube fact on there, that this could happen at some point. And then I thought, someone's going to bring a Rubik's Cube to it. And then I thought, if they do, I'll be in trouble because I'll probably bring like a regular Rubik's branded Rubik's Cube. And those are really difficult to turn. And so I thought, that would be really slow. Maybe I should bring my Rubik's Cube. I went, no, that's too nerdy. I'm not going to do that. Because this is particularly nerdy, when I try to do it as quickly as possible, I use what's called a GAN speed cube, which is like what people use when they're setting world records. And it has the right balance of stiffness and smoothness. And when he pulled it out of his pocket, it looked exactly like one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could do this.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I touched it, it was the cheapest Temu ripoff.
Oh no.
So the when you held it, it kind of it's squidgy and it didn't turn. So I'm blaming my tools here, but also the fact is I've realized I've never solved one in front of a room full of people who are
Because I
timing
can see you getting more stressed. And I would get stressed being put on the spot like that.
Well, I have to. It's hard to tell. I had to rest it into my body because it didn't have the structural integrity to stay where
turn,
I left
yeah.
it. And like on a proper speed cube, when you do a really quick flick, you can predict exactly where it's going to end.
Right.
With that one, I couldn't. It was like overshooting, so I was having to turn a lot slower. And then, just like when you're trying to focus on something that you've done a million times, I was forgetting the algorithms that I had to remember to do it.
Yeah, because you're also on stage in the middle of a fucking roast battle.
Yeah. So the thing is that I was focusing too much on it, and like Luke's kind of saying things, and I'm kind of picking up on that, and I'm like hearing the timer, and so I couldn't do it. Now I don't know if you could, well, it's this was the end of the battle, so the judging starts at this point.
Yeah.
He didn't. Like, he did have a bit of a joke in there, so there was an actual joke set up to it.
One.
So it wasn't just that this was the challenge, so he got away with not writing a joke.
Yeah,
He had the build up to it. He could have just kind of gotten away with that in theory as a round.
I mean,
joke.
it was a great end to roast battle as an evening.
It is this great kind of gambit that continues, and there's more to it. It carries on to this.
You mentioned that you never thought that someone would, you weren't sure, but you thought someone might challenge you to it at some point. Did you not consider that the guy who makes videos for Max Fosh would be the one to challenge you to do a roast battle Rubik's Cube?
When you say it like that, it seems like really logical. But the moment that came out of his pocket, it had not occurred to me. It really hadn't occurred to me.
Really?
Yeah. And now I'm like, I felt so disappointed. I came home and did a Rubik's Cube about 20 times. Just to kind of remind myself that I can do it.
Getting sadder and sadder.
The thing is that it is there's two sides to it. There's that kind of on the spectrum side, like I have to complete this. I can't have this presented to me and not do it. There's the pride side of just not being able to do it in front of an audience. But then there's also the active side going, what is the funniest way of doing this? And that side has abandoned me. Like that has gone out. Like I can't focus on doing this and everything that's going on in the room and the pressure of people watching me and think of something funny to do with it. So I'm just going to have to plow through. Yeah. And it clearly didn't work. So this gambit, I think a better outcome was if I had succeeded at it. That would have been a very triumphant. I think even from Aziz's perspective, that would have made a better ending to the show. Yeah. But the fact is, this wasn't rehearsed. I didn't know it was coming. If it was, I would have given him a better cube to give me. Yeah. But a minute, 58 seconds is the fastest I've ever done it. That is in my office just with a stopwatch, no one looking at me, and I can do it 5 or 6 times to get the best time.
You should film one for the pod.
Yeah, well, I've got my cube just over there. I will do one once we finish with this. It'll be like a post-credit scene. Yes. See how quickly I can do it. But that was the end of this round. So what do you make of that final round of this battle? I
think I'm gonna have to give the battle to Aziz, just because it was mostly going to you and it was up and down, but to pull off an ending like that.
It is a high concept prop based thing which doesn't always work, and it was a gamble, and I think it got the room going. It was entertaining. It's something people will remember.
I think if it was going just by joke, right? If he'd just done a joke, if he just ended on that it's such a way to show that you're autistic and left it there, I would have been like, oh, it's obviously going to you. But it was such a risky thing to do, but so fun to watch. I mean, obviously, credit goes to you for actually doing it. But
if I'd shot it down, I think that would have been terrible.
There's no way you could shoot that down. That would have been the end of you.
I think I definitely couldn't have shot it down. I could have just gone, spent a minute just spinning, going like, I've never done this before in my life.
Yeah, and I think it would have been worse if you'd been like, well, actually, I'm not used to this kind of cube.
Oh no,
that would have been so much worse.
I was saying that to everyone at the bar afterwards. Don't you worry. I made it very clear that this was an inferior product, to the point where Aziz was going, stop dicking on my cube. Like, yeah, well, your cube is shit. But I was not going to do that on stage. Yeah. But it was also, I have it's not quite an essential tremor, but I have very shaky hands normally, under all circumstances. So now everyone's staring at my hands. That shake gets even higher. So Luke even remarks on it. My hands were shaking, and I don't get nervous doing roast battle anymore. I used to. I don't anymore. It's the one show that I know exactly where the stakes are. I know exactly how good or bad I am. I know how it feels to win. I know how it feels to die. I'll be fine either way. I don't get nervous about that. As soon as that came out, it was a completely different thing. Yeah. And I had something I was trying to achieve in a time frame that I was already ambitious. Yeah. My average time is about 1:15, 1:20 at the best of times. 58 seconds is the fastest. I used to put 90 seconds down, and I changed it to a minute, and I could have bought myself another 30 seconds. Yeah.
But you were really close as well.
Well, there's more to what happened.
Shall we?
Oh well, yeah. So you gave the battle to me. I think that's a fair assessment from what happened in the evening. Let's have a look at what the judges had to say.
You finished while the judges.
Luke, let's know your opinion on that battle.
He's still doing it?
Yeah. Based on that, we know who won.
Jesus Christ, Drew, man, you must really hate colours mixing. I think, to be honest, we've kind of got to. I mean, your hands are trembling, man. Your hands are trembling. Honestly, you not finishing it, I didn't mind seeing how much your hands tremble. I've got to give it to Aziz, man. He's done one side, man.
Oh,
that's a sixth of the way there. Aziz, I'm giving it to you for this.
One for Aziz Vora.
Calling out how much my hands were shaking did not help my hands shake less.
Yeah.
I will say.
Also, I mean, to my eyes, I know he's like, he's done one side, but Luke is really up close. To me, he could have just let you have that win.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it looks like you've done most of it.
I have done most of it. So at this point, I've done the bottom side and then the next two layers. So I only need to fix the top layer and the top.
Yeah.
So it's the last couple of turns. But at this point, I'm kind of even less looking at the cube and listening to them. So I'm just kind of flicking it around. I'm not really 100% focused on it. I am still slowly fixing it, but I'm also trying to hear if I won or not. And at this point, I'm like, I'm already down, which I think kind of takes the pressure off because I think I've completely lost it at this point.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Adam Green.
Adam Green.
Hi Dave, thanks for having me. Now I've been judging roast battle for 11 years now. To be honest, I'm not sure the competitors should give each other physical tasks. Whether they can or cannot do it. So for that reason and that reason alone, and I really want to stress for that reason alone, I'm voting for Drew.
Adam has a persona and he will not move away from it. I don't think we should be allowed to give our competitors physical tasks.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Adam Green. I think there's a slight amount of context that I need to give you on Adam's reading of his line there. Mm-hmm. I've been doing your roast battle for 11 years. You may have noticed slightly lower energy than he normally gives into that. He was so pissed off because there'd been a string of events early on where Helen was in the building but running late to be in the room.
Okay.
And the night had got started. They called her up onto the stage. She wasn't there. Oof. So I'm going out running. So Adam comes up in and he's in the middle of his spiel. And then she did turn up and came onto the stage in the middle of him doing his bit.
His setup.
And so it kind of scuppered it, and it didn't progress well from that point of view. So he was a bit pissed, a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
So his energy on that the joke is lower.
Yeah.
But then I think he really comes back to it with his and for that reason only. I think that's where you see Adam's real side come out.
He does seem more irritable than I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
And this is him at the best point of the night.
Yeah.
Like previously he was quite annoyed, but it all worked out in the end. So him and Helen were arguing a little bit of the evening. They weren't getting on as well as they possibly could.
Yeah.
But I think him balancing it out, I think it worked out in my favor.
Our Adam can always recover a room.
Yeah.
He's very good at that.
So let's move on to Helen K.
1-0 Helen K.
Wow, Drew, that was incredibly disappointing. 2 watches, what the fuck is wrong with you? No, that was a great battle. I'm friends with both of these guys, but it's a pretty short list to be honest. Like last time I saw Aziz, we battled, and then after the battle, I congratulated him because he just had a kid. And I said, hey, congratulations, Aziz. And he said, like, why, you won. Drew, you are autistic. You don't even need an NHS.
Solve the Rubik's Cube in 10 minutes.
For the record, it was 3 minutes on the nose. And that's from the moment they started the clock to that moment there. It's exactly 3 minutes. And I didn't do it for at least a minute in the middle. I just wanted to add that before we heard the rest of this.
That was fine. 2 hours.
He said he can solve it in under a minute. He didn't say he will. I mean, two really like unique things happened. Like one, that very daring prop comedy that's nobody attempted, and then second, a Huel joke, which I feel like is underrepresented in modern comedy. So because I'm an indecisive woman, I'm going to give it to the audience one last time. Oh, fuck off! It's the last battle. You love democracy, you pieces of shit. Just vote.
Just choose one. That's what you're being paid to do. Alright, fuck it. I'm going to choose. Yes. I think it was disappointing that you weren't able to do the Rubik's Cube.
60 seconds is my best.
60 seconds is your best. You can make it all the excuses you fucking want. But I think we have to give that to Drew. I think you did do a better battle. We give it to Drew, ladies and gentlemen. One last round.
So quite a few things happening there at the same time.
I'm struggling to find my words with this. I really admire David Anthony for being like, fuck it, it's the last battle of the night. It's 1 a.m. probably. I'm going to choose, so we're not doing this again. I love that. No one's ever done that before. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is an option.
That is an option. David, almost immediately after the show, said, I didn't actually hear any of the battle.
Okay, maybe it's not a viable option.
He was backstage. So again, a bit of context. This wasn't the first time Helen had thrown it to the audience.
I heard, yeah.
And also that in her defense, the first person to do it that night was Adam.
Yes, okay.
So they kept doing it. Adam did it once when it felt fairly appropriate to do it, and it was early on. But then Helen kept doing it, and it was, I think it was irking a few people.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that this was necessarily judged as normally as a roast battle would be judged. I'm taking the win. I'm counting it as a win.
As you should.
As I should, and definitely will. But the fact of the matter is, I think you're right. I think Aziz could have very easily won that on a straight judging battle.
Yeah.
And that...
But the thing is, it was such a chaotic battle, and that thing at the end just threw me off so much. I think if it was a straightly judged, whatever. If it was a battle judged by straight heterosexuals the entire way through, I think if it was just on the jokes, I would have given it to you.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the battle as a whole and performance and memory and what I'm going to remember and all of that, that's why I would pick Aziz. But there was so much chaos. I can only imagine what the judges were like in the room.
I think this is, we spoke about this on the Peter Baisley versus Holly Ludlow battle as well. And that Holly had possibly the better individual jokes, but Peter had the better presence of the whole. The whole thing was a show from beginning to end. I don't think this quite is the same, but and it's hard for me to be impartial looking at it, but it does feel like there was. Aziz created more out of the battle than it could have been.
Yeah.
Like he actually introduced this new element that in improv you'd call it like an offering, and you have to and it, you have to take it. And for me, it was just as easy as giving it a good go.
Yeah.
The best outcome would have been if I'd succeeded, and that would have made a better show all round.
Yeah.
But that was literally me trying my best to achieve that, and like I definitely tried. That wasn't me failing on purpose, and. I didn't, like, my mind had gone completely blank. I was like, I've completely forgotten how to do it. And it took like going through Luke's judging and halfway through Adam's judging for me to go just stop thinking about it, just do it. And then I just looked down and went, oh.
Yeah.
And then when I relaxed and the pressure was off, because they kept going, oh, just leave it. It's like, wait, no, I need this audience to know that I can solve a Rubik's Cube. It became a matter of pride, completely outside of the realm of what roast battle's meant to be about.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a lot more athletic than I am now, I used to get very drunk and go to bars and challenge men to a plank off. It's a whole personality problem that I used to have, especially when they were being obnoxious.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I got so into planks that I could hold a plank for 4 minutes.
Okay.
But whenever somebody put me on the spot, being like, okay, hold a plank for 4 minutes, that's when you just can't do it because you're thinking about holding a plank for 4 minutes rather than actually just, if I'm just by myself, no, I can't do it anymore. But if I was just by myself, you're not actively thinking about how the process or what you would need to do that.
Yeah.
But when everyone's eyes are on you, all you can think about is everything that you need to do to be able to do that.
I have a similar thing that I also used to be more athletic, and I used to play underwater hockey.
What the fuck is underwater hockey?
So you've got a swimming pool 6 feet deep, and you've got a lightweight but still metal puck that sinks to the bottom. You've got short little metal bats, and you take a breath, you come down, and you have to slide it along the bottom of the pool into the goal opposite, so which is a wall on the opposite side. It's like a 12.5 meter long court, and so you're constantly going down. It's a full contact sport, so you're all like bashing into each other, trying to do it all while holding your breath. And it meant that I could hold my breath for quite a while.
Yeah.
I could do a static hold for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But if anyone actually challenged me to do it, I wouldn't be ready, I wouldn't be prepared, and your heart rate goes up from being challenged, and then you come nowhere near to it because you're not in the right mind space for it. And I think the same thing happened here. It's just like, normally, the thing is, I've never been challenged to it. I know I can do it, but the challenge had happened. And the thing is, we could go into the details about why or I didn't succeed at it, but it's what to do with that opportunity to make it the funniest in the room. Yeah. And I think I let the challenge of it stop me from trying to think of a way to do. I think I could have thrown a hissy fit. I think that could have been fun. I think that like a comedy hissy fit, just some way of doing something else with it. But I was so focused, I got in my own way of like, no, I have to solve this, and I completely shut down until I do it. Like I'm like listening to the judges, but I'm also kind of like looking at the cube going, I still need to finish this thing. I can't let the show end and not have finished this thing. So but kudos for like the practical side of bringing in props doesn't always work, but I think this works. It works knowing what kind of personality I am, and knowing I'm going to go for it. And it gave the audience something different for the last battle. God,
Rubik's Cubes and underwater hockey. You are the whitest man alive.
Fair enough. Okay.
That was an exciting battle to watch. I'm sad I wasn't in the room for that.
It was very fun. You must have arrived minutes after this, because by the time I made it downstairs from this battle, which was the last one of the night, you were there. So you should have come up and seen it. But it capped off a really good night. I'm sure I'll fill you in on all of the drama in more detail off camera. But it was a very fun battle. I think the only thing left to do is to try and solve a Rubik's Cube on camera and see if I can actually do it in under a minute. Okay, so this is pre-scrambled, but Shalaka's going to grab a little bit extra, so it's completely random, and we'll see if I can do it in a minute or as close to it as possible.
1 sec. Yeah, that's something.
Okay, right. So
3, 2, 1.
Go right.
This is making me feel very tense.
This is why it was so hard to do under pressure, because it's like you only get one chance to do it on stage. And here I can do it multiple times until I get it close to my best time. Done.
1 minute 5.
1 minute 5. Okay, not quite a minute, but as close to it as I could.
I think that counts. I think 1 minute 5 counts.
So that's, I'll take it. Just proof that I can actually solve a Rubik's Cube in near a minute. Maybe saying I can do it in under 90 seconds would be a safer bet. And what I should have stuck to, and maybe I could have done that. But the fact is, I didn't do it on stage, so Aziz deserved to win. But he didn't get it. I got it. And that's the thing with Roast Battle. It's always fun, but it's not always fair. Thank you for indulging me in
I loved it.
doing the Rubik's Cube on camera. I think I've got the spectrum set complete now in terms of things, 2 watches and a completed Rubik's Cube. So I will take that. We will be back next week, where I believe we're going to be looking at Joshua Bethania versus Patrick Brusnahan. Remember that you should come down to the live show. You can find tickets at roastbattle.co.uk/tickets to find yourself some seats for the next available live shows. The show's all the way through the summer. It's going to be some brilliant lineup, some new people, some established names, but it's always a good night out. Now, where can people find you online, Shalaka?
I'm on @Shalaka Kurup.
on Instagram, and I am at Drew Tells Jokes. And remember, you can follow the podcast at Hardlines Pod. We're across YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. So find us there. But until next time, it's goodbye from me, Drew Stearne.
It's goodbye from me, Shalaka Kurup.